I'm Cheryl Marks Young. For those of you that have been following me for a while, you know that I am a business leadership and executive coach. I am a Vistage chair, and I have a podcast that's called Hungry, Humble Human because I love to work with people who are real, with business owners who are real. And I work with individuals on a one-to-one basis. I also work with them in Vistage groups, and I work with their teams. And one of the questions that has been coming up a lot lately as we enter into the new quarter of a year, we just ended the last quarter, people are getting their financials from their accountants and from their teams. They're looking at their businesses for the future. And the question that I raise with everybody at this time is, do you know what things cost? Do you know what it costs to make any size tweak in your business model? So usually at the end of a quarter, we're looking at those financials and we're saying, yay, let's celebrate. We're doing well. We have a lot of profit. Or we're looking at that and saying, okay, well, I was hoping that this would be a little bit better based upon changes that I made last quarter. And so continuing on that topic, if you've been following these for a while, of the hopium epidemic, right? I'm implementing changes that I hope will show improvement and finding out that they don't. And so strategically, I want to redirect us all into understanding that we have the ability to shift the needle in our business every step of the way, whether it's weekly, monthly, even daily. As we put strategic plans in place and changes in place, we can start to look at the result so that we can start to shift things midstream and not wait until we get the final numbers for that time period. And so back to the question of, do you know what things cost? A lot of times, what I hear people saying is, I need to hire this person because that position will really help the company grow. And that person costs $200,000 of salary. And well, I have $200,000 of revenue addition that I just made. So that will cover that person's salary. And they move forward with hiring that person. No judgment. This is standard practice. Everybody tends to do this until they get to this little nuance in, do you know what things really cost? And so they will generally go a little bit of way along with this new person and say, hey, we're growing. And then they'll get those financial statements and say, that didn't wind up as I expected. And one of the things that they may have missed is, what do things really cost? And so something I want to leave you with today to think about is that that person's salary of $200,000 is not all that it costs to bring them on board. So that's not the whole compensation package generally. Generally, it would be $200,000 for their salary or any number for their salary. I'm just using that because it's a round number, plus any benefits that you pay for them. Health insurance, Social Security payments, the employer portion of the Medicare tax, any other business things that you need to increase. So you might need to increase your insurance. You might need to increase your space. You might be buying them a desk, buying them a computer. You might be paying for their telephone. Even if they're a remote worker using their own equipment, I want to have you begin to think about, what are the extra additional expenses that bringing somebody on costs? What's the training time to bring them up to speed? So they don't just hit the ground running day one, right? They've got a few days or weeks, or sometimes it's months where they're training. What's the cost of that training? Even if you say, well, it's free, I'm already just using other resources that I've already paid for. I want you to take the cost of those other resources and add it to the cost of having this person work for you. That's the amount of revenue you need to have. So someone that costs you $200,000 in just salary may actually cost you upwards of $400,000 or even $1 million before they can actually make an impact on your bottom line to bring in net profit. All too often, we're looking at that top line revenue number instead of that bottom line revenue less expenses equals my net profit. There's a little bit more nuance in there, but I want to be a little bit simple in how I explain it in this short conversation. But I really want you to think about, do you know what things cost? Have you really taken a look at each position in your organization and all the pieces to the puzzle that would be allocated to that position as expenses? Even if you already had an empty desk waiting for this person to show up at, right? So to you, it's not new expense, but actually it is expense for that position. So this is not a conversation that necessarily your accountant would have with you. They may not know to have this conversation with you. They may just be reporting what's actually happening today. This is more of what's the true cost of doing business. When people start to have these conversations and start to get these nuances, their businesses start to grow faster than they were growing before. And it's because all of those hidden expenses that are in plain sight that we've forgotten about start to be accounted for as part of the conversation, as part of how we grow the business. So I'm going to leave you with that for today. Hopefully I have opened up your minds a little bit with some more questions, and I would love to continue this conversation. I'd love to see how you're implementing these kinds of conversations in your business. Thank you.